your news in your community. This is KRBC, Abilene's local news at 6.
Howdy, y'all. Thanks for joining us for the Rural Registrar Even News. I'm Kathleen Barkley.
And I'm Odysseus Simpson.
Oh,
Thank you for joining us. Oh, shoot, they changed it. With daily reports of arrests made. I can't keep that up. Shoot. Made for child sex crimes, it may seem like these offenses are on the rise.
But the Cybercrimes Unit of the Abilene Police Department says the number of these crimes committed is not necessarily increasing. There's just a greater pursuit to catch these sex offenders. KRBC's Catherine Garcia explains.
Well, as we reported last week, this old Kmart building will become the new home for the Abilene Police Department. And with the new building comes new facilities, including a laboratory for the Cyber Crimes Unit. And we're told by Sergeant Jason Hack of Cyber Crimes that he was unaware of how much child porn was circulating on the internet, especially in Abilene.
There had been a few cases off and on throughout our careers where we would hear about this stuff come up. When we specifically started targeting these crimes, it was unreal with the amount of offenders that are out there that are viewing child pornography.
And while Detective Christopher Milliron says cyber crimes encompasses more than child pornography,
cyber crimes are online solicitation of minors, cases where people are soliciting, underage children for sex.
Sergeant Hack says there's a correlation between sexual assault of children and child porn consumption.
In the short time,
more of that news stuff coming up next, but first, here's Oscar with the weather. I don't know.
Thank you, Kathleen. This is gonna be a doozy out there. As you can see, it's looking pretty clear and a little bit of cloud cover. But we look at our forecast today. We had a high of 83, low 61. High wind of 15 miles per hour. We're going to have a bit of a chance of rain over the weekend, around 30% on Saturday and 20% on Friday. But it should be clearing up once we get into the later parts of the weekend and into the week. And, it's going to be a good time for everyone to get outside and have some good family time. Back to you, Kathleen.
Hey, thanks, Sarah. That's a good one you got there. All right. Well, a huge landmark coming from the state capitol today. House lawmakers now passing a bill to raise teacher pay. That's your Texas legislature news. This bill would not only raise teacher pay, but also include other long overdue improvements. The bill provides $9 billion in school funding, more money for each student, and mechanisms to lower property tax. In a statement, wheelchair-bound Governor Greg Abbott says, quote, the legislature is making changes that will have a lasting impact on our education system and, more importantly, our students.
And more Texas news tonight. Trucks delivering goods from Mexico to the United States are facing up to 12 hours of gridlock. Companies now in fear a border shutdown would inflict chaos on the supply chains. And the $1.7 billion trade, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security officials said a recent redeployment of about 750 officers on the border has led to the slowing of legal crossings and commerce at ports of entry. And with gridlock at the ports of entry in schools and border towns like the University of Texas at El Paso are getting prepared for the potential impact from housing to food. That's because students may not be able to freely cross into Juarez, El Paso. UTEP is already preparing for the worst with President's latest threats to close the border. Food pantries are being set up for students unable to return home in Mexico, and warnings are going out to students to start planning for a border shutdown, as this would end up affecting international programs and temporary housing.
Fortunately have someone that I can stay with because I know it's not a lot of room and there's a lot of us that cross daily. And if I get stuck in Juarez, well, I've been communicating with my professors. They all understand what's going on. Even my boss knows what's going on, so we're just going to work it out as it goes.
Over 25,000 students, not including staff, that could potentially be affected by the border closing.
The city of Ranger celebrating its 100th anniversary tomorrow. KRBC's Kelsey Pittman shows how they have pushed through the tough times.
Their population being about 35 to 40,000.
Main Street used to be a lot busier. A lot of fancy stores and barber shops.
Now, 100 years later, it's a bit quieter. with a population of nearly 2,500.
When we opened up, there wasn't a vacant building on Main Street. There was business in every one of them. And then it just slowly disappeared, but we stayed because we still had a good business, still doing lots of work.
Joanne Greenwood is the owner of W. Greenwood's Auto Parts Shop that opened in 1968.
What we do is what kept us surviving.
Thanks and wreck of one, number 3. The festivities start tomorrow and go through Sunday. There will be a parade, concert, vendors, time capsule, and the revealing of the first ever Ranger flag, and it's all free. State and Ranger police officers are participating in the hashtag Back the Bluebonnet Photo Challenge. Police officers across the state are posing in bluebonnet fields and posting witty captions. The Ranger Police Department captions its photo, "Felt cute, might arrest someone later." IDK, their post has been shared almost 700 times.
After more than a decade, the remains of 17 unaccompanied, I can never say that one right, veterans will be escorted from Amarillo to San Antonio to finally be laid to rest. Tomorrow afternoon, Patriot Guard motorcycle riders will be stopping in Sweetwater at Love's gas station to refuel around 1:30 p.m. After that, they will head south toward Menard for their final stop before reaching their destination in San Antonio. Love's has even donated $2,000 to their mission. It's hard for former prisoners to build a new life once they're not behind bars, dropping soap anymore. That's where New Beginnings steps in to help. And today is the first day of the annual New Beginnings garage sale. This story that's positively Abilene. This is the group's largest fundraiser of the year, allowing it to support the women that came through its program. Most of them are newly released from prison, needing help to get back on their feet. Although the sale offers plenty of great finds, it also offers the chance to gain a new perspective on those coming out of incarceration. The women in the program on site, really coughing over there? God, get it together through the sale.
There's kind of a stigma, you know, with people that have been in prison, that have been incarcerated. And so I think seeing them in the different light, that, you know, they're just like we are. They're normal people. They just need extra help sometimes.
You can get a sneak peek of the sale tonight with donation New Beginnings, Kathleen's Mean. The sale continues tomorrow through Saturday at 118 Arnold Boulevard. More information can be found on the New Beginnings Facebook page or on our website, bigcountryhomepage.com.
Coming up on your local news. Look at this cat. The Abilene Zoo has a new face lurking in the trees of one of its exhibits. Let's hope it doesn't eat a monkey. We'll introduce you when we come back.
And the weather's gonna be looking pretty good out there tonight. It's gonna have lows of 61, and I say it's gonna, when we come back, it's gonna be after the break.
This is KRBC, Abilene's local news at 6, with Kathleen Barkley, David Bacon, and Chief Meteorologist Dylan Smith.